Classical music. I love classical music, and one of the best things about the classical era was that the piano was the star. And now, today, hundreds of years later, we're still able to play these amazing songs from the classical era just the way those composers intended. So, on the journey to playing classical music, it can be a little difficult to know what order to learn some of these pieces in, because some of these pieces they look so challenging on the page, but they're not as difficult as they seem. And some of them look super simple, but when you go to play them, it's super challenging. Now we've got the incredible Charmaine here, who is part of the team over here at Piano, and she's gonna be showcasing all of these songs for us on the piano. We've taken all of the guesswork out of this for you, and we have found 5 classical songs for you to learn in order of difficulty. So let's dive in. Okay, so the first song on our list is Minuet in G minor by Christian Petzold. Now, this piece is a stunner. It's in a minor key, it's very dramatic, and it sounds super impressive without being overly complicated to play. This piece has articulations and ornaments that make it sound super impressive. And that's what I love about pieces from the Baroque era, is that they always had space and room to create these little ornaments and trills that just sound super impressive and really help you to develop control in your fingers. It also has moments where you're gonna develop your hand independence without it feeling super overwhelming. So here are a couple of practice tips for you as you approach this song. This song actually has really natural 4-bar phrases, which is perfect because you can work on 4 bars at a time. They're gonna sound really good together, like a complete idea. So you can work on left hand and then right hand and then putting it together. And you add all of those 4-bar phrases up and you're gonna be done the song in no time at all. And then the second thing is, remember, this is from the Baroque era. So this is meant to be played in a detached fashion. So pay really close attention to the note values. You wanna make sure you're holding the notes that, half notes or anything longer than a quarter note, and then detaching everything else. So it's not smooth, it's sort of like disconnected. And this is where you really get to develop that control between your hands and how this piece will help you to become a better piano player. Next up, we have Sonatina in C major by Clementi. Now, this song is such a happy feeling song. It feels like a classical roller coaster ride because it has all of these scale runs and triads happening in the piece. And it sounds super impressive. If you look at the music on the page, you might be like, oh my gosh, there's so many notes. But it's actually more simple than it looks, simply because it's based on scales and triads. So this song is a perfect example of how you can take all that time you spend practicing chords and scales and apply them to a song that sounds absolutely amazing. So here are some practice tips to help you along the way. Number 1, practice your triad inversions in the key of C. It's gonna help you so much. And a little hint, when you're practicing your triad inversions, you don't always have to start in root position. Don't be afraid to start your inversion practice on an inversion, first inversion or second inversion. And this is gonna help to prepare your hands to be ready for some of the inversions that are gonna show up in the piece. Secondly, this song has a lovely Alberti bass that shows up in the left hand. So while the right hand takes on most of the work in this piece, don't forget to focus on your left hand. So you're gonna be paying attention to not having tension in the hand and really nailing down the accuracy in that part without being too loud. You wanna have dynamic control with both hands. And then finally, think of each hand as a vocalist performing its own part. So don't ignore the fact that there's going to be dynamics and nuance between the hands. If you practice them individually, like they're performing their own pieces, when you put them back together, you're going to have something incredible. Number 3, we have Solfeggietto by C.P.E. Bach. Now this piece will make you sound like a classical rock star. So if you love to play fast, this is the one for you because it is super fast, super impressive sounding piece. Now, it looks complicated, it sounds complicated, but it's really not that difficult once you're comfortable in the key of C minor. So we've got 3 flats in this piece, which means that it can take a little getting used to, but once you're comfortable there, it's just chord patterns played really, really, really fast. So some practice tips for you to master this piece are: start slow. The only way to get fast is to start slowly and build your speed up gradually. So focus on accuracy and consistency in your timing. Use that metronome. And secondly, make sure you're really comfortable playing your scales, your triads, and your arpeggios in the key of C minor. That will make all the difference when it comes to mastering this piece. Next, we have Waltz in A minor by Chopin. Now, if you love classical music, then you know learning a piece by Chopin is like a rite of passage. He did not write easy music, but it's also beautiful. So this piece sounds incredible, and it's a bit challenging to learn, but it's absolutely doable. So be prepared for some drama, for moving around the keyboard, and for playing something that's just gonna impress everybody who listens. Practice tips. Memorize that left hand. Because Chopin's pieces have these left-hand parts that kind of feel like stride piano. You're playing a low note and then you've got a chord up here. You're moving that left hand around a lot, so you have to develop accuracy. If you memorize your left-hand part, it will allow you to focus on your right hand, which is where all of the beautiful nuances in the melody are going to happen. And trust me, once you've got that left hand memorized, everything feels so much easier in this piece. All right, number 5. This is our most challenging piece. This one is Sonata in C major by Mozart. Now, this one is like a marathon for your hands. You're gonna get a great workout, you're gonna develop endurance, and you're gonna play something that sounds incredible because this piece really has it all. It has sweet moments and fast moments and dramatic moments, and it's just gorgeous. So some practice tips for this piece are scales, scales, and more scales because this piece has so many scales and they're played so fast. You might want to find those sections in the piece, identify which scale they belong to, and then just practice them with the metronome. Keep in mind, you don't always have to start a piece when you sit down to practice at the beginning. Go to the most challenging sections, start there and spend your time, and then you can go to the beginning and play the entire piece. The other thing is watch out for surprises. While this is in C major, you've got a lot of things that don't feel like C major in this piece. There's modulations that happen. You're gonna see sharps and flats, so you gotta be ready for them. And most importantly, you can do this. I know this piece seems challenging. It might take a long time to master, but I promise you all the time that you spend here will be absolutely worth it. So be encouraged, know that you can do it, and have fun practicing this one. So there you have it. 5 classical songs in order of difficulty. Not only do you have the songs and a little overview of what to expect in them and how to approach your practices, you've also got sheet music available for you to practice with. So remember to practice, enjoy the process, and comment below because I want to hear from you which one of these pieces is your favorite, which one are you so excited to go practice. So happy practicing and we'll see you around.